Do you understand that during the LeBron James era, there were debates as to whether or not he was the best in the world because Kobe was still playing at one time. Tim Duncan was still playing for a large chunk of that time. And ultimately, Steph Curry has been playing a large chunk of that time. Do you know that when Michael Jordan was playing, there was never a debate ever as to who was the best in the world?
Stephen A. Smith's done playing nice. He's snapping back at the never-ending GOAT talk with zero chill. The back and forth over who's the real king of the court. It's been spiraling for years. But now, Stephen A. is done with the noise and bringing straight up receipts. He's calling it how he sees it. LeBron fans, he says they're getting way too emotional, not logical. They're rooting with their hearts, not their heads, Stephen claims, and he's not backing down. The numbers, the rings, the defensive trophies, all of it points to one man, Michael Jordan. And Stephen's saying it loud so there's no confusion. Stephen A. came out swinging, dropping back-to-back cold facts that shut down any fairy tale arguments. He pulled up Jordan's 6 rings like trump cards, undefeated in the finals, never even needed a Game 7, 10-time scoring champion. Dominated both ends like a machine. And let's not forget, he did it in an era where elbows flew, paint was a battlefield, and every bucket was earned the hard way.
The obvious, you do know that MJ has 6 titles, right? And LeBron has 4. You do know that, right? You do know that MJ was undefeated in all 6 NBA Finals appearances. Do you know that? You do know that Michael Jordan never allowed an NBA Finals series to get to a 7th game. Did you know that? I'm sure you did. Did you know he's a 10-time champion? And LeBron has won a scoring title 1 time? Did you know he's a 9-time first-team all-defensive player? LeBron James did that 5 times. Did you know that Michael Jordan is the former Defensive Player of the Year, 1988? LeBron James has never won a Defensive Player of the Year.
This ain't about who played longer. This is about who took the game and owned it. And according to Stephen, that man ain't LeBron, it's MJ, period. Let's talk defense, real defense, the kind that made legends think twice before driving the lane. When you stack Jordan's numbers against LeBron's, things start getting shaky for Team Bron. LeBron's been solid, no doubt. He's consistent. He's explosive. But according to Stephen A., he still hasn't cracked the one stat that truly defines greatness: overall impact. And that's where the divide gets loud. Stephen A. ain't tossing around fanboy takes. He's breaking it all down with precision. These aren't opinions. They're cold, calculated basketball truths. And those truths, they sting. Then Stephen takes it deeper, into the heart of real greatness, dominating both ends of the court. He gives LeBron his props, even calls him a worthy number 2. But you already know, second place still ain't first. And when Stephen reminds the world that Bron might get swept again, that's a dagger. Cause let's keep it real. Jordan never got swept in a best of 7, never even needed a Game 7 in the finals. That kind of consistency, that level of pressure-proof dominance, that's not luck. That's straight up killer instinct. Stephen's not just quoting stats, he's dropping the full story. He's laying out the context, the legacy, the aura, the stuff that separates legends from the GOAT. And when it's all said and done, LeBron, as incredible as he is, just ain't touched that air Jordan's breathing. Stephen A. drops another bomb, reminding folks that even Jordan's losses hit different. Yeah, MJ got swept twice, but let's clear that up quick. It was in best-of-5 series, and it was against Larry Bird's Celtics. That's not a knock, that's war scars from battling greatness. And once the league flipped the format to best of 7, Jordan never got swept again, not once. That one stat says it all. Dude was built different. Even in defeat, he stood tall, never folded. This ain't just about rings, it's about the mentality, the dominance, the story behind the climb.
By the way, Michael Jordan, he got swept twice, just like LeBron did. But it was in best of 5 series in 86 and 87 to Larry Bird, McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge and those boys. In a best of 5 series. Michael Jordan has never gotten swept in a best of 7 series in his career.
Jordan didn't whine, didn't run to build a super squad, didn't rely on the media to prop him up. He took the hits, sharpened up, and owned the league with nothing but raw skill and killer drive. Stephen A. brings that up for a reason, because when you look at LeBron's path, too many footnotes, too many, but he didn't have help, or, but he was in the tougher conference. But look at the stats. It's always something. And that's why, according to Stephen, the LeBron is GOAT crowd sounds more emotional than logical. Then Stephen hits a nerve people don't like to talk about: perception. During MJ's prime, nobody was questioning who the top dog was. But during LeBron's reign, folks were still debating it. KD, Kobe, even Steph had people talking. That alone speaks volumes. Stephen A. names names: Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, all legends, all incredible. And guess what? During LeBron's era, every one of them had moments where they were considered the best in the league. That's the issue right there. With Jordan, there was never a debate. He wasn't arguably the best. He was the best, period.
Do you understand that during the LeBron James era, there were debates as to whether or not he was the best in the world, because Kobe was still playing at one time. Tim Duncan was still playing for a large chunk of that time. And ultimately, Steph Curry has been playing a large chunk of that time. Do you know that when Michael Jordan was playing, there was never a debate ever as to who was the best in the world?
And it wasn't because ESPN ran with it or Twitter was on fire. It was because everyone knew: players, coaches, legends, reporters. MJ owned the crown. No cosigns needed. Stephen A. hammers that point home. Real greatness doesn't need to be defended. It shuts everyone up. And that silence? It never existed with LeBron. Matter of fact, LeBron's whole career has come with disclaimers. There's always someone explaining, spinning, or campaigning on his behalf. That alone says everything. Then Stephen A. takes it back to before the rings, before the dynasty. He reminds us that by 1988, MJ was already the best in the world. And this was when Magic and Bird were still on the court. And not only did they know it, they said it when Larry Bird called Jordan God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Even before Michael Jordan won the title in 91, from 88 on, it was clear that Michael Jordan, even with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson winning championships, it was clear that Michael Jordan was the best player in the world. Larry Bird called him God in gym shorts.
That wasn't just praise. That was a torch being passed in real time. Jordan didn't have to beg for respect. He earned it the hard way, and the league handed it to him without hesitation. No media campaigns, no self-promotion, no viral hashtags. The players saw it, the coaches saw it, the world saw it, and they said it out loud. That's why MJ's legacy is sealed tight, bulletproof, untouchable. Stephen A. puts it plain: if you were there, you already know. And if you know, you know. Then comes the moment that really cuts deep. Stephen flips the script on Shannon Sharpe. He asked him straight up, why does it offend you so much when people say LeBron's not number one? And just like that, Shannon gives himself away. He says it doesn't bother him, but his whole vibe says otherwise. That contradiction, that's exactly what Stephen's been saying. LeBron fans aren't using logic. They're reacting with feelings. It's not about basketball anymore. It's personal. These fans are treating LeBron's legacy like it's their own reflection. But guess what? All that emotion won't change the numbers. You can't rewrite the past just because it hurts. You can't build dominance off of vibes alone. And that's where LeBron's GOAT case falls apart. Jordan never needed backup from emotional fans. His game spoke for itself. And the truth is, no amount of passion can cover up what the record books already exposed. Stephen A. didn't just give his take. He cracked open the real issue. This ain't even a basketball debate anymore. What we're watching from LeBron fans, it's an identity crisis in full swing. Stephen A. straight up exposed the pattern. Emotional reactions, shifting goalposts, media spin after media spin. He made it crystal clear. The GOAT convo isn't about who lasted longer or who posted more highlight reels. It's about undisputed, undeniable, unmatched dominance. And Jordan owned that lane from day one. From the trophies to the toughness, from how the league viewed him to how the world respected him, MJ's greatness doesn't need spin doctors or defense squads. It speaks for itself. Meanwhile, LeBron's legacy still needs PR, excuses, and constant rebranding just to keep the argument alive. Let's be real, the debate ended years ago. Only reason it's still floating around is because LeBron's camp refuses to let it die. If you're rocking with Stephen A on this, smash that like button and let us know in the comments. MJ is the real GOAT. Subscribe to NBA Showdown for more raw text truth bombs and no filter breakdowns. We've got more heat coming. See y'all in the next one.